Listen!
Welcome everyone, this is Andre's Restart, and this time we're talking about the new Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon remaster that's coming to Nintendo Switch next year. Just last week during the Nintendo Direct, Nintendo announced that they are remastering this game, or they didn't technically use the term remaster, but they said a visually enhanced version of this game is coming to Switch next year. And at first glance, I thought this was looking kind of like an upscale for the original 3DS version, but upon closer inspection, it's looking to be a bit more significant than that, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. Now before we go further, let me point out that we are aiming to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so if you do enjoy my content, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. With your help, it just might be possible. And to also point out, we have a partnership with Instant Gaming, so if you're looking to save on some digital games, including for Nintendo Switch, check out the link in the description below. It'll help out the channel, and you may find yourself saving a little bit of money. So when I first saw this very quick teaser, as I said earlier, it was looking to me like a very simple upscale. Like, definitely would look better because it would be in 1080p, a higher resolution than the 240p we saw on 3DS. But after having looked at the side-by-side comparisons, the difference is a lot more significant. Now the difference isn't so significant that I would say this looks just as good as Luigi's Mansion 3. Just look at the character models here. There's clearly a significant difference in detail. Luigi in Luigi's Mansion 3 looks a lot more detailed. You can see the fabric detail, not just in the overalls, but the hat and just the overall model and lighting is better. But compared to the original 3DS release, there is still a huge difference. So shoutouts to my friend Brandon. You may be familiar with Brandon if you watch the podcast. He is my co-host. He went ahead and pulled out some screenshots to compare what we saw from the teaser trailer, and this gives us a pretty good understanding of just how much better looking this game is. So here we have a close-up of Luigi from the 3DS version with the vacuum. You can see all the polygons, you can see all the aliasing with the little jaggies all around, the very basic textures, it's all very flat looking. And now let's look at the version on Switch. It is substantially better. There is a much better polygon count. Just look at Luigi's hat. You can still see some corners here and there, but the difference is substantial. You can see the actual texture detail on his mustache. Like, it's just a very, very big difference. Everything is a lot more rounder looking, or whatever shape it's supposed to be. You can actually see texture detail in the walls. The lighting is better. It's just a significant improvement, and it's very clear. There's just more things here. So this is not just an upscale. They are replacing character models here and adding textures and of course improving the resolution. It's a big difference. Looking at this scene here, we can see a room from the 3DS version, but now taking a look at the Switch version, it's just so much more clear. You can actually see this painting. You can tell what fruits are in there, as opposed to the 3DS version. It's a bit of a guessing game. And the same applies for all the paintings. You can even make out the shattered glass here that you can't really make out in this one. It's super subtle by comparison. Take a look at this staircase here. Look at the rails. It just looks like a flat piece of wood. Now look at the Switch version. You can see all the grains and lines in the wood. There's also a lot more depth to the steps in the staircase, and you could even see the wallpaper a lot more clearly. Looking down at the fountain here, there's actually new water textures. This looks like pretty good looking water, but in the original 3DS version, it was very, very basic by comparison. In this outside scene here, notice how there's a lot of grass on the floor in comparison to the 3DS version where there's hardly any. There's just literally more geometry here. Now pay attention to the floor where Luigi's falling on. We can see some blocks on the floor, we can see this little brick area, and it's very, very basic. But now look at the 3DS version. You can see actual detail here, you can see the cracks, you can see just more going on. This brick wall now looks like a completely different style of brick. And then also notice this side of the brick wall. On the 3DS version, you can barely even see the bricks there, but it's pretty obvious in the Switch version. Taking a look at the lamppost here, it's just nice to see how clean and crisp it looks. And then when we look at the 3DS version, you can see the little jaggies, you can see how unclear it is. I'm just really loving how everything just looks so much better. I mean, even how the trees look, it is different. There is more detail there. It's not something insane, it's not like a super detailed tree. There's still a very cartoony look here, but there's still a lot more going on. Take a look at the mansion in the back here. We can see the actual tiles for the roof as opposed to the 3DS version where it just looks like black rectangle. The whole thing. It's just such a huge difference. Taking a look at this last scene here with Luigi in the bathroom, something that becomes clear about this one is they're adding actual new elements to the environment. So for example, notice the floor in the 3DS version. Not much there. Now notice the floor in the Switch version. They've added a carpet. We can see the tiles a lot more clearly. There's some nice detail there. We can see through the cracks in the floor. It's not just a crack with nothing behind it. It's all opaque. We can see under the floor. That's not the case in the 3DS version. The toilet looks very blocky. The Switch version of that toilet looks like a toilet. Overall, this game is looking a lot better than the 3DS version. That does have me excited. Would I have preferred to have gone a remake of the original Luigi's Mansion? Yes, I would have, but Dark Moon is on the way, and that may be pretty exciting. And I also won't rule out a remake of the original Luigi's Mansion. Look at this situation regarding Pikmin 1 and 2. We didn't have any sort of warning about these games, and Nintendo just dropped them right before the release for Pikmin 4 with this Direct. So, who knows, maybe in a February Direct where they show off this game again to give us a release date, maybe they also shall drop a upscale of Luigi's Mansion. That might be pretty cool. It may not get the same level of work that this Dark Moon version is getting, but it still may be pretty nice to see on Switch. If it's anything like how Pikmin 1 and 2 were handled, I'd be pretty okay with that. And even if we don't get it, at least this Dark Moon remaster is looking pretty solid. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. This is Andres Restart. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and I'll see you all really soon. Take care.